That's a different type of question.
I mean,
wait, let me finish. I have to answer a single question. I can't answer anything.
Haven't you seen those social experiments where like a man will be screaming at all I'm hearing is excuses?
When I get not triggered, it's okay.
I would argue that women are far more selective than men and more intelligent when it comes to the mate selection process versus men are, quite frankly, a lot of the time stupid. They'll be with a girl that is using them, abusing them, treating them like maybe yelling at them.
Do you agree with that?
I do partly. I do think women are a little bit more intelligent with their selection after when they've grown a bit older. I think maybe as teenagers we're equally stupid. Maybe they just learn a little bit faster.
I feel like I'd have a hard time generalizing because I see, like I said, you know some. I know some women that are insanely amazing people. They look good, they make a lot of money, and they're just with the most loserish guys. I don't know why. I can never explain it. But I also know guys that will do like really dumb things over and over again too that should know better. So people are real dumb sometimes when it comes to relationships. Yeah, I don't know if I could generalize it more to one side or the other. I don't know.
You can't generalize.
I just don't know. I know a lot of men that make a lot of bad decisions. I know a lot of women that make a lot of bad decisions in terms of like who stays in relationships more when dumb stuff's happening. Like how many abused women will stay in abusive relationships for a long time because they end up getting mind fucked over it. Like I think that's stupid.
Do you know?
Or how many?
But you know the other thing I've learned about abused women? They don't talk about. A lot of times they're both abusing each other.
That can happen.
Sometimes. I mean, like
because a lot of girls will come on my show and they'll be, and I know you'll be like anecdotal, oh, pro, like da 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 da. But okay, I'm just
like reactive abusing. So they get abused, they react back, and then it's like a circle.
Well, but that's always the assumption. But how do you know they didn't hit first?
I mean, even if they did hit first, I think it's a bit different when a guy's hitting a woman. Unfortunately,
equal rights, equal lefts, baby. Seriously, I feel like if you shouldn't hit a guy if you don't expect to get hit back.
Okay, hold on. Weren't you earlier just saying are there no biological differences between men and women?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, so women hitting men is bad. I'm not going to argue against that. It's a horrible thing, and in relationships it shouldn't happen. But I think men hitting women is a little different because the capacity to do damage there is a lot higher.
Well, yeah, so I feel like women then should never hit a guy.
I agree with you.
So it's like, why would you hit a guy if you don't expect to get hit back? And so in an abusive, I think under the law it should be equal.
I don't even know what the question I think originally was who stays in abusive relationships more, and now we're trying to say that like, well, a guy should be able to beat the shit out of a woman if she hits him first.
We usually protect those that are weaker.
My whole point is that a lot of times what they don't talk about is that they'll say, oh, women are staying with these abusive men, but a lot of times the women are abusing too. And if you talk to people that have actually worked in those industries, they'll tell you that.
I don't think so. Because that's usually a point that I have to fight on. A lot of people, when you talk to these industries, the repeated phrase is actually mutual abuse is impossible. That's not a real thing. They'll say that's not that back and forth doesn't exist. I don't agree with that. I think that I think we saw it a little bit with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. That there's like if any relationship that has some abuser, probably both sides are doing some dumb shit.
Sure. If that happens to a man with money, power, and status, what happens to the average guy? And that's the whole point. That happens all the time.
Wait, hold on.
When we are talking about where women will abuse men and get away with it, and it's really common, and they'll say, "Oh, they were the one that abused me," but they don't talk about that they were doing it too.
Sure, men abuse women and get away with it. There's like relationships are hard,
right? But
and abusive relationships are hard.
That's what you always do. Is you always say, but, and then you go,
well, no, because you're trying to make a point. You're trying to make it's like you're trying to make a point that's like women can get away with hitting men.
They do,
and men get away with hitting women. Everybody gets away with hitting each other.
No, they don't. Haven't you seen those social experiments where like a man will be screaming at a woman in public, and then people will stop him and get involved in whatever, and a woman will literally be beating up a guy in public, and nobody stops. Nobody does anything.
If the question is who can get away with abusing their partner in public, then I would agree with you that people tend to call out men more than women, or people tend to call out men more than women. However, when it comes, because it's not, because when people are abusing each other privately, when it comes time to hold somebody accountable or responsible, it's really, really hard to bring charges against somebody or go to the police station and report anybody.
Who's it harder for, men or women?
It's probably for either.
Oh, Destiny, come on.
There's a fair amount of crime that just isn't prosecuted in general.
It is almost impossible.
Crime is a very lucrative
I can't. If you want to bring like a legal expert, but I can't argue with like, well, I had a girl on my panel and she said this. The reality is that when you go to the police station to report even a rape, you can do a full rape kit. If it is only your word against somebody else's, that case dies right there. You can't
but you can take pictures. You can like they take pictures of like if there's like cuts on them, bruises, like
it doesn't necessarily mean you have enough to move forward.
It doesn't necessarily mean that, but what I'm saying is that it's more common for women to be able to go to the police and get a conviction versus men going to the police and getting a conviction for women.
But I don't know if that's hold on. There's
Well, often
there's a
they
hold
don't
on. Wait,
do it though,
wait,
do
hold on.
they?
Wait,
They
yeah.
just don't go and report it, or they back down.
There's also a
when
lot
they
going on with
usually
what
do.
you just said there. To get a conviction that's a different type of question.
Because I mean,
wait, let me finish. I have to answer a single question. I can't answer anything.
There's even been cases where a guy will call the police on a girl and they'll arrest him. You've never seen those?
I mean,
Okay,
a lot of the cases, though, the reason why this happens is because other men are not taking it seriously, and the majority of the police force is still male.
Also,
So
hold on.
they
Okay,
see
you
it,
said
and
you
by
mentioned.
their
I'm not
societal
saying
standards,
why it's
yeah.
happening. My whole point is that it's harder for men
Okay,
in that capacity.
You mentioned get a conviction, okay? If men and women are biologically different, if 100 men attacked 100 women and 100 women attacked 100 men and everything was perfectly reported and it was flawless, there was cameras recordings of everything, in that perfect world, wouldn't we still expect more men to get convicted?
Because it's more GBH. It's worse,
Because it's more because there's a bigger power differential, right?
I would expect it to be, if it's the same crime, equal punishment. That's what I would expect.
When we
If it's
Well, if a woman punches a
if
man
it's the
versus the other way
same-
around, there's
if
more
it's the-
likelihood the man's
if
going to have
it's-
done more damage.
If
though,
it's the
right?
same crime, who cares about the damage? It's the crime.
Well, the damage is
It's
resulting
the
of the type of crime that
It's
you're
the-
prosecuting
It's the
for.
crime.
If you haven't
So
caused as much harm.
What about me and Dustin? I'm a semi-pro athlete. So it's like, if I punch Destiny or Destiny punches me, why would it not be the same crime? Why would it not be the same prosecution?
I don't know, but I'd like to see it.
Why do women?
do you want the actual answer, or you just want to keep asking random questions?
Why do you
Great.
want women to get special treatment?
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
Nice loaded question at the end there. The reason why it's a different crime is because there's different intentions based on who's attacking who, right? If a 16-year-old girl that weighs 85 pounds starts running up and slapping me in the face, she's probably not going to be ever charged, but she'll get charged with assault and battery, but it's not going to be like attempted murder or something, right? If a 250-pound man jumps on a woman and starts punching her in the face, you might get charged with attempted murder or something, because the capacity to do damage there and the state of mind when you attack the person is going to be a lot differently. If we acknowledge that there are biological differences between men and women, which I thought we all agreed on, I think we do, then there's going to be a different intent behind a woman hitting a guy, which I agree is still assault and battery, and I agree you should still get charged for it and convicted for it if you do it, but the capacity for damage there shows a different state of mind than if a man attacks a woman. Do you agree that a man punching someone in the face carries with it a different intent than a woman slapping a guy?
All I'm hearing is excuses.
Okay, you have no.
All
okay,
I'm hearing
right.
is excuses.
Let me get not triggered. It's okay. You're doing the thing.
All
You're just doing the thing.
Excuses.
You're doing the thing. It's
All
okay.
the libs are always giving women excuses.
She's doing the thing.
Excuse,
That's okay. That's cool.
excuse.
She's doing the thing. That's all right.
What thing am I doing?
It's just the
What
thing.
thing am I doing?
To make this
Just ask the
comparison a little bit
questions.
easier.
What thing am I doing?
Ignore him. Anyway.
He's a triggered.
You're just doing the
So,
thing.
He's a
It's cool.
You could
triggered
make
lib.
this scenario more even. For example, they're both using weapons that are the same. Then they would be charged the same.
The same, 100%.
But then say instead one has a stronger weapon and does then more damage with the weapon itself, like removing the aspect of the physicality of the human being. You would then charge them based on the amount of damage that they've done with that weapon.
Well, it depends on when you're talking about a weapon. It depends on what you're doing, right? If you shoot someone in the head or the stomach, you can get still charged with attempted murder, depending on what you were trying to do. Right?
I meant,
But I'm also saying, how hard is it going to be to bring charges? Let's say now we go to the world where we have less perfect information, where I call somebody to the house, 100 men, 100 women. We have the same thing. We call somebody to the house. Now you have a house where the guy got slapped. Police officers show up, and maybe his face is a little bit red. Realistically, can you even do battery at that point? I don't know. But if you show up to the house and then the woman is there and she's got a broken jaw or her face is severely fucked up because the guy hit her, well, it's probably going to be easier to charge the guy there. Now, that's not fair, but again, it comes down to in the court system, what can you charge and what can you actually get a conviction on? And oftentimes, I don't know if women can do enough damage to men in general. I'm not excusing them or saying it's okay or saying they can stab them or beat the shit out of them and that's okay. I think that's all horrible. But in general, men are going to do more damage. That's going to be more easy to charge in court.
Do you think that they should be charged? So you don't sorry. So you don't think they should be charged the same for doing the same crime? Just yes or no.
If they do the same crime, they should be charged the same thing.
Okay, then so we agree.
No, we don't agree because I don't think you know what crime means.
If you punch me,
I think he means same crime, but also same result.
If you punch me and I punch you, shouldn't we be charged the same?
Maybe, but that's because you're a tall lady.
Okay, if me and
Kelly punch each other, that's probably a different thing.
Oh my gosh! So I don't even get the special. It's
nope, you're too tall.
Libs want special treatment, but not for conservative women.
True.
Not
for tall, proud, volleyball playing, conservative, family-oriented women.
Not for conservative. Women love selfish men, though. That's
Oh my
the problem.
God.
Yeah.
It's really dumb in any complicated dating or relationship interaction to only analyze one side of
you
things
see,
and then say that it's the only. Actually,
I don't
okay.
appreciate the mocking.
Okay, but that's what you're trying to
Probably
railroad me
doesn't
to
feel
without
like
even letting me
his
respond to your
partner.
question.